Okay, so namaskara and good evening to all, and we welcome you to this presentation by Youth Photographic Society. I am Prema, the currently serving secretary of the club. So there are few announcements I would like to do before we start with the presentation. And before that, I would request everyone to stay on mute and also turn off their videos so that we don't have a problem with the bandwidth. Uh, to announce to me a few announcements about the upcoming programs. So this is something I would like to share with you because I mean, it's good for you to know so that you can block your dates for these. So the next program will be in the YPS hall, which is called Test Your Lens Before You Trust Your Lens. So this is on the 28th June, that's on Saturday, and it's by Raju AK, a very senior photographer and a very old member of YPS. So he will be showing us how you test your lens. So each lens is different. There are no two lenses which are alike, he says, and each one has to be tested for the optimum, it's, what should we say? The aperture and other this thing, what it gives you, the best result that it gives you at what settings. So this is something he'll be showing you, and you have to bring your camera, your lens, your filters along with a tripod. So then he will show each one's camera he's going to test, each one's lens he'll test, and he'll tell us which the sweet spot is for that particular lens. So don't miss this. It's going to be a very educative program because a lot of us do take pictures, but how many of us know how to test our lens? So this is going to be a practical session. Please do come to the hall. I think it will be worth it to take a little bit of trouble in Bangalore traffic and Bangalore rain and whatever, but please do come. And then after that, the July programs are as follows. On 5th July, we have a touch of red sequel by none other than Satish H, who is known for his touch of red presentations. So he's going to do part 2. And this also is going to be in the hall. Let us see if possible, maybe we will try our best to stream it online, but I'm not very sure because nowadays it's been difficult to do that. So please, everybody in Bangalore, make it a point to attend this presentation. There's going to be a lot of learning here also. And after that, on the 12th of July, there's an online meet. That's going to be a presentation by me called Nepal, the Himalayan Kingdom. So this will be a Google Meet. And after that, the last program for July will be on the 19th. So this is going to be Framing the Invisible by Raghuram Annadana, which was unfortunately had to be cancelled the last time that it was announced because of some medical emergency in his family. This is going to be an extreme macro photography presentation. I think you all must have seen Raghuram's pictures. They're extremely close-ups of little insects and stunning pictures. So this is one other program that you should not be missing. So the whole of July, please block your dates. Okay, this is about the month of July. And now to come to today's presentation called Whispers of the City, as you can see on the screen. So here's a brief synopsis about this presentation. Thejas says, the streets do not lie, and neither should your camera. So whether you're prowling the back alleys of your hometown or stepping off a plane into a city that smells like spices and sounds like a foreign symphony, I'm sure he's talking about India here. Because it's only us who can really, smell spicy. So he says street photography is like being a detective with a lens instead of a badge, hunting for truth in the shadows between buildings from Detroit to Delhi. So he's going to show us street photography in his own hometown and from around the world. Wherever. So here's a brief about Tejas himself. Tejas grew up in Bengaluru, and at present he lives in Houston, USA. He has a degree in computer science engineering and an MBA in finance and marketing in the US. Tejas is very passionate about photography, and he has AFIP and AFIAP honors. He primarily shoots landscapes, portraits, street scenes, and events. So he uses street photography as a way to engage with people and learn more about life. As you all know, Tejas is Rajaram Sir's son. Rajaram Sir is one of the very senior members of YPS who has served as in various capacities in the executive committee, and he still is active. Recently, he did a workshop on portraits. I can, without hesitation, say that he's a master of lighting, of black and white photography and portraits and whatever. He's been doing a lot of tabletops and everything, very, very active. And he did a wonderful workshop. We are fortunate to learn from him. So Tejas has been also contributing articles in Drishti in a feature called Camera Diaries. So anybody who has downloaded and read Drishti would have seen his articles, because he has been contributing this since July 2022. 3 years continuous now. So he's been writing for us. I thank him very much for that. They're wonderful articles on be it street or travel. Thank you, Tejas, for this contribution. Now, it's not only about photography. He has also dabbled in various other things. And can you guess what? No prizes for guessing this. Yes, he has dabbled in modeling and acting. So he says his role in the movie was that of a rich but nice second hero. Whatever, it doesn't matter. A hero is a hero. So who does not end up getting the heroine? Okay, the movie did not get released, he says, fortunately for him and for us. And Tejas is thankful that his overacting skills were not exposed to the world. So someday he plans to write a book about it. Now, he also likes public speaking and has been certified as a competent communicator as well as a competent leader by Toastmasters International. So Tejas loves to read books, both fiction and non-fiction. He reads about 50 plus books a year. That helps shape his creativity, curiosity, and spirituality. So I will stop with this, otherwise I'll be taking up too much time, and I'll hand over the screen to him. So Tejas, would you mind questions? If questions come in the middle, if it pertains to a particular slide, then I'll take it up. I'll be moderating. And I request members to write the questions in the chat. And if I'm just preceded by a capital Q so that I know it is a question. And if you do that, if it pertains to a particular slide, I will interrupt Tejas and ask him about it. Otherwise, we will take up the questions at the end of the show. Yeah, thank you. So over to you, Tejas.
Yes, ma'am. So just to clarify, hold on one second. You asked me a question. If it's okay to have the questions as and when they come up. Questions, comments, and advice, anything is welcome. There are a lot of senior photographers in this audience today. So if you have any other comments also, they are welcome as well. So we can have a discussion
Okay.
on the slide. It doesn't have to wait till then.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you.
That's right.
Thejas,
Okay.
the first question is from me.
Good, sir.
I have read many of your articles in both Drishti and other places. So after reading that, I'm really afraid that if I have to sit with a dictionary today, or can I
No.
listen just like that?
In other words, he's calling you the Shashi Tharoor of IPS.
No. So I have, yeah, that's a very good observation. I think I used to follow this one. I forgot her name. She's like a German origin lady in. She used to write an article in Deccan Herald, and she used the most expensive words. I was very inspired by her. I actually memorized a lot of words from the dictionary at some point.
Is
But
she a Russian lady?
could be
Deccan
the
Herald.
Russian lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Russian or yeah, German. I don't remember
German.
exactly, but she used to like really use most very expensive words, and inspired by her, I actually started memorizing some of the dictionary words. But I try to simplify it as much as possible. I'll take the feedback and I'll try to simplify it as much more as possible. Martha, I think that's
Vinu
right.
says it is Martha.
I think
Martha.
that's her
She
name.
is
I
a
think that's her
Russian.
name.
Yeah.
Very nice. So thank you very much for no, but today it's going to be hopefully very simple and entertaining.
Typical Indian.
Yes. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. We'll start as Prema Madam already mentioned. I was born in Bangalore, live in Houston, and the reason why I put up this slide is because most people don't know where Houston is. Houston is not New York or California. Most people know only those two places. This is where Houston is. This is the map of the United States, and we are based in the Southwest. It's called the Southwest, but it's mostly on the eastern side. If you ask somebody where is Houston, they would say Southwest, for especially Americans, basically because when America was formed, it had very few states, mostly eastern. All this western part was not there at all. So it's the western part of the original United States or whatever. But if you divide the country in half, we are actually on the eastern side a little. But anyway, we are in the south, and we have a sea at about 1 hour drive from Houston. So we have access to good water. That gives me an access to good seascape photography as well. So I'm an engineer and I have an MBA, as I mentioned, and then I travel street portraits, landscape photography. The hardware that I use is mostly Canon 6D Mark II. I have a couple of other cameras, but this is my main camera. And then I have a 1740 lens, 24-70 f2.8 and 100-400. So a couple of other lenses also, but these are the main things that I use. And I have a drone that I use for aerial photography, DJI Air 2S. And I also do quite a bit of street and photography from my phone, which I specifically bought for photography because it's a pretty expensive phone. It's one of the high-end phones from Samsung. I'm sure like even iPhone the high-end phones will, iPhone or Samsung, Android or iPhone will do the same job. It's pretty good. So it helps me sometimes when I'm like, in a car, I'm driving, I don't carry my camera everywhere. So it helps me shoot some quick pictures. You can shoot, for people who don't already, Samsung Ultra, that particular phone is meant for photography. It can shoot raw also. So that's been helpful. And other interests, writing, reading, and public speaking, as ma'am already mentioned. Okay, so moving on to today's presentation. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about street photography and travel photography. Those are the two things that I really love, and I've mixed those two things. I also do landscapes, as I mentioned, but it's kind of mixed. These are, and I think as many of you already know, landscape photography is more like meditative in nature. You go to a place, you wait for the perfect thing to happen, like sunrise or seascapes or whatever. You wait for things to happen. But street photography and town photography are more energetic in nature. You go out into the crowd, you start shooting. There are people showing up. There's things happening around you, so you have to be alert. It's like you're in a war zone. So there's a lot of things going on. So there's more energy. So I like both styles. I like portraits also. But I tend to do more of the street and travel because it's much more, it's more attractive to me. But I love landscapes and I love portraits as well. Okay, so for this presentation, I'm going to start with a couple of philosophical thoughts about how to go about, how I go about shooting pictures. So the other people may have other opinions, other approaches. Please feel free to let me know, or if you have any other questions or comments, please let me know as well. So starting with the planning. So that's most important for me whenever I am planning on going to a particular location inside the city, inside my own city, or going to some other city. I try to look at what are the things that are going on. For example, in my city, what kind of events that are going on in the near future for the next couple of weeks. I look up Facebook events. I get invites to all kinds of events that I don't go to. I just get all these invites so that I keep view on what's going on. So that will give you an idea about planning, how to plan. And once you decide where to go, you can always look up some pictures that have been taken. And I'm sure many of you guys already do that, but you can always look up what's going on, who have shot similar pictures in some similar locations, similar events and things like that. So this particular picture, I will go a little bit fast because we have like 70, 80 pictures. In case if you have any questions, you can stop me and ask me. Also, one more thing, disclaimer, I've had like really bad cough and cold for the last 2 days, so I may take a little bit of mute breaks for me to cough it out. Okay, so this picture was shot in Houston downtown. So the plan was to go and shoot some downtown pictures. Now what happened was that particular day, it's sometime in December, not many people around, and also it started raining. So I took a break in one of the coffee shops there, and it so happened that things were happening, and then there was this window, so I was able to get some nice picture. My point here is that we plan for something, go with a plan, but the plan may not materialize. Something else will materialize. So even if you don't get according to what the plan is, you'll get some interesting shots. This one was in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a small island. It is not in the mainland of America. It's outside in the sea. This photograph is probably one of the most expensive pictures that I've taken. The reason why I say that is this particular place is called Old San Juan. You see that you see that the road is made of cobblestones. They have like a copper element in it. It's like bluish in nature, and you have like all these beautiful buildings around. So I wanted to go to this. I planned before I even went to Puerto Rico. I took all the places where I have to go and things like that. Made a map. Once I drove to the place, of course, I mean, we have to fly to Puerto Rico first. So I stayed the day before. I stayed with my family. The next morning, early morning, I wanted to get some pictures which are not common among tourists, because as photographers, you want something more than regular what other tourists get. So when I landed here, like 6:30 in the morning, I parked my car and went to shoot all these pictures. I got some of these interesting work that's going on. People who are busy walking, cleaning. There's a lot of partying that goes on till very late in the night here. So these people come early in the morning and then they clean up. And there's this other guy who's painting and taking care of his building. So there's a lot of work that's going on in the mornings. The reason why I say that this is one of the most expensive pictures is when I went back to my rental car where I had parked it, I had been given a parking ticket for $250. That's close to 20,000 rupees. So I ended up negotiating a little bit and bringing it down a little bit, but I still had to pay a lot of money. Basically because you plan and plan, but I did not know that those parking spaces are not for public. It's only for people who live in that area. So even though there were a lot of parking spaces available, you cannot park there. And there were no boards saying that. And most of the boards in Puerto Rico are in Spanish. They're not in English. So I had to use a Google Translate app to translate all the English signs to, Spanish signs to English. So it's not easy. They don't make it easy for you. So, I mean, of course, it's their city. They can do whatever they want. But what I'm saying is, like, you can plan and plan and plan, but things go wrong. And I kept on blaming myself. I'm a loser. I should have done more research and things like that, which happens with most of us. We tend to blame ourselves. But you plan and plan and plan, things go awry a little bit. But I got some great pictures, so I'm okay with that. This is one of the pictures that I shot for the Holi festival here. I was expecting some nice colors and stuff like that. This is a daughter of my friend. She's a very pretty girl. She's of course not Indian. She's white, but I happened to chance on this portrait with all the colors. I really love this picture. So especially because it's a non-Indian who's playing Holi. It's kind of it's become more common nowadays, but it's still not as common all over the internet. So I really like this picture. So this is once again chance happening. You can plan a little bit, but once you get into the field, things play out, and that's the magic of life. For this picture, I planned early in the morning. I wanted to shoot sunrise. I go there. I get this weird. So for sunrise pictures, especially seascapes, many of you who do landscapes already know that a nice sky is needed. This was a very kind of weird sky. There were no big patterns in the sky. I was waiting, and then I started walking around and trying to see what I can shoot. I saw these people with who come for fishing, and I mentioned this before that fishermen are some of my best friends because only fishermen and photographers go so early in the morning. Fishermen go there because that's the best time to fish. All the fish come, towards the shore or whatever, and they are able to fish really, really well. And the photographers go there for the light. So they always talk to me, and then they'll look at my setup with a tripod. They're like, "What are you doing?" And I talk to them about their life. So fishermen in India do look a little bit different from fishermen in the US. So I just wanted to emphasize that point that you plan and go, something else happens, it still is good. Now you have this was shot near Denver. There is a city called Mini City, something equivalent to that name. I had done my research, but I was not expecting that this would be there. I had done my research regarding the city of Denver, but when I was driving around one day, I was going to some other hill and I was coming back. I suddenly see the city on the left side, all small buildings, and then there is a small train. I was like shocked. What is this? So I got down and I tried to shoot some pictures. So again, I was not expecting this during my planning, and I kind of thought, why didn't this come across my research? So anyway, so you plan and plan, something else happens. Again, that's always good. So moral of the story is, can plan all you want, but also be flexible for miracles to happen. Second thing is lighting. There are different kinds of lights that we can work with. Previously, I was of the opinion that only the golden hour is important. like early in the mornings or in the evenings. Rest of the time I can sleep in my hotel. So what happened was, which is what I went with here. This is Dubai. It's a shot from Burj Khalifa, from the topmost floor that you can get to, and we were there even before the sunrise. You can see the sunrise happening. It's a little bit after sunrise this picture was shot, but my point is that you have to book very early in advance in order to get to the slot. You can get to Burj Khalifa at any point in the day. It's not very difficult to do that. You still have to book in advance, but you can get there. But for this particular slot, sunrise and sunset spots, it's more in demand, so you will have to book a little bit in advance. I booked about 3 to 4 weeks in advance. We went there. We go all the way up. So first you will have to go. It's, I think, 100 plus floors. I don't exactly remember the number now, but you have to go all the way, and then you have to wait. And the next challenge is there are a lot of influencers, people with cell phones doing videos for their YouTube channels and all that. You have to fight with them in order to set up your gear to take good pictures. So, though it looks all nice and clean here, the effort, as most of us photographers know, the effort is not very clean. It's a lot of hassle. Now, as I was saying, that I was of the opinion that during the harsh daylight time, you don't do anything. You can just sleep in your hotel. It didn't work this way. So this is a small mini train in a place in Hawaii. It's called the Dole Plantation. The thing with Dole Plantation is that they are very much known for their pineapples. And whenever anybody talks about Hawaii, they talk about pineapples. At least in the Western world, in America and in the Americas, not just US, but in the Americas, Hawaii is known for pineapples. I'm sure so many Indians know about this as well. The story with pineapples is, pineapple was actually, it did not grow in Hawaii naturally. It was taken from mainland United States to grow there. It actually died. When the initial plants or pineapple plants were taken to Hawaii, they all died. Now they actually had to go through a lot of customization for the plant to grow there. Now Hawaii is known for pineapples. Anybody who goes to Hawaii is like, it's made out to be a big deal. Pineapple is made out to be a big deal. You have to eat pineapples in Hawaii. I mean, they're nice, but the story behind that is they're not a naturally occurring plant in Hawaii. It was taken from the mainland United States. But here, pineapples are grown a lot. Like in this particular field called the Dole Plantation. It's not the crop season yet, so that's why you see all the dry ground there. But there's a nice train ride that they take you in. Throughout the plantation, you can see the plantation. And this was shot in the middle of the day. So almost in the middle of the day. I would say maybe like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So you see that it's not really bad. Like, even the other days are okay. I gave it a little bit of a post-processing. I made it a little bit like a retro look so that it brings out the warmth of the overall picture. Now, this is not technically a city. This was outside some of the cities. This is in the Smokies National Park. The point that I wanted to make with this picture is that that day when I got up, it was all foggy and it was very boring. So I didn't want to get up that day. I was hoping that I would get a nice sunrise or something like that, and just like very bland day. I did not want to go out. But then I thought, okay, so all the senior photographers who have advised me, they always keep on saying that, you have to go, you have to go, you have to go. You don't make good pictures by staying in the hotel. So I ended up going and, not expecting anything. So I later realized that some of the most magical pictures can be made with fog. And that's what happened. So I really like this picture, but it's, you can see that it's foggy and all that, but the fog adds to the mystique. So I came to know about it that day. This is the picture in Hawaii. It's on a different island in Hawaii as compared to the previous one. So you may have seen the hills in the background. This is my daughter who is in the foreground. You may have seen all these hills in the background. These hills were a part of Jurassic Park movie. So if you look at some of the scenes from the Jurassic Park movie, they have this like really, really rough ridges, mountains. They are all from this location. They're shot, I think, 4 or 5 different Jurassic Park movies here. Now, the thing with that is, again, it was an overcast day. I was kind of skeptical that I will get anything, but we ended up going there and we got some really nice photos. This was just outside of a little bit further drive from Waikiki Beach in Hawaii again. You'll see that there is a small island called the Chinaman's Hat or something like that. So you can actually walk from the mainland to this small island. The water gets up to here, so you have to be careful. And you have to be careful about the water tide and all that. But it's a pretty interesting place to go. And this person who is holding this nice colorful umbrella, I did not plant it there. So other photographers may actually assume that it's planted umbrella. No, it's not. He was holding it himself. So I lucked out there. This particular shot is once again a bland day. But what happened was Houston, where I live, doesn't get a lot of snow. And we hardly get snow once in 2 or 3 years, and that too very light snow. Last year, we got a lot of snow. And it was, I think, historical amount of snow. And I took my drone out to fly it up there. And then this is my community where I live. We have a nice lake here and all that. So even though the light was bland, we got a good picture. So this is a little bit outside the city of Denver. I was driving out. Denver is a city that's in the middle of all these mountains. And you see a lot of light, play of light. So as and when you're driving out, you see hills, you see light streaming in from different layers of clouds. There is a top layer of cloud. There's all these clouds over mountains, and there's like light streaking in and all that. So it was a pretty interesting interplay of light and shadows. So yeah, and I really like this play of light in the mountains, though it's just outside of Denver. This this picture was shot in Hawaii. The point of this picture is that I was trying to shoot during the evenings. Of course, it's one of the golden hours. And then you have a lot of these people who are in paddle boards and like surfers and people like that. So it's a nice time to go out and shoot in the beach. I just walked into the water a little bit where water was hitting my knees, so it's not too deep, but it's really beautiful out there. This is in the evening. We have a nice temple. It's a Swaminarayan temple, and many of you know that Swaminarayan temples are all over the world, including Islamic countries like in UAE. This one is just about 10 minutes drive from my house. It's a beautiful temple. It's shot during the evening. And then this is my daughter, of course. Like I like the clean, the serene atmosphere here. The point I wanted to communicate with this picture is that the same picture, same location can be shot in the evening or in the night, which is the next one. So this is in the night. So there is this beautiful water pond that you saw. And I took the advantage of the reflection in order to shoot this picture. They have really lit up temple very nicely. The temple is white in color, of course, as you saw. It's made of marbles and white cement or white paint for some of the other concrete places. But it's really well lit up at night. The other thing with lighting is, if you walk around the city, some of these touristy cities, this was shot in San Antonio. So it's a very touristy city, and you have all these different colors. The camera struggles a little bit with these kind of neon colors, and you have to do a little bit of post-processing in order to process these images. You have to shoot in RAW for sure, otherwise it gets messed up because the lighting is complex here. But my point is that, like, it's a different kind of light setup, and it's neon lights, and it's not like a regular daylight or evening light. It's a night light, and that too specific targeted light. So it's pretty interesting. This was shot in one of the museums in Houston. Houston has a museum district, so there are a lot of museums with indoor nice lighting, interesting lighting scenarios. In some of the other presentations, I had presented some of the other pictures that have indoor lighting as well. So I found this interesting looking lit up art, and the lady here looking into the corridor. So it was an interesting light setup. This light setup happens during Christmas in many cities around US. So what, especially during Christmas, what they do is almost a month before Christmas, they light up like whole trees, leaves, everything, like streets, everything, especially with the cheap Chinese lights you get, like, you can like light up all places. So it's a flood of this decorative lights. So I go around town during Christmas and shoot any interesting setups like this. And I saw this one, like, I saw there's a shower of light that's coming from the trees. We have all these people who are wonderstruck and looking up. So that this is a challenging light atmosphere as well, because the camera gets confused with all the targeted lights. So you have to do a little bit of post-processing to get the details out. Now, one of the things that I always do is try to get a window seat to the plane whenever you're traveling. So especially when you're booking the tickets, try to book it in such a way that you first of all get the window seat if possible, and secondly, try to book it during evenings or mornings, the takeoff or the landing. So this picture was shot just after we took off from Puerto Rico. I was sitting near the window, and we have, I mean, this, if you look at it photographically, it's I don't think it'll fly in any of the competitions or anything. There's not a whole lot of subject except the pattern, cloud pattern. I just really like it because it's beautiful, and it's very well lit, very interestingly lit rather. So there are other couple of pictures that I shot, which I've shown in other presentations. But basically, if you get a window seat near the window seat on a plane, and it takes off during evenings or mornings, then you're lucky to get some shots like this. This is over the sea. We are already like 10 minutes after we left the island. Still, you see a lot of cloud patterns. Okay. Talking about composition, there are different types of compositions. So many of us have already been working with the rule of thirds, the golden rectangle, and the leading lines and things like that. So many of us know the basics already. So I'm not going to talk about all those. I'm just going to talk about like trying to look at every opportunity from a different angle. So here I flew a drone. So what happened was, this is in Hawaii. In Hawaii, many, or actually almost all the national parks have banned drones because I think somebody flew a drone into in some national park. Somebody flew a drone and the drone collapsed, and the authorities were not very happy, so they banned all drones in all national parks. But this is not a national park. This is a beach outside Waikiki Beach. It's about 15 to 20 minutes drive. So here, what I try to do is, like, if you just go to the beach is nice. But I saw that there was like a hill, and it's always nice. Like, Hawaii has this immediate gradation from sea to the hill. So I wanted to see how it looks like, and I flew the drone, and it looked really nice. And there's a nice road here, which cuts the picture, and there's like water here and hill here. So it came out nice. So even though drones are banned in the national parks, you still have a lot of other opportunities where you can shoot some really nice pictures in Hawaii. This was shot really low. This is my daughter. I took her out to just outside. Okay, sounds good. Yeah. This was shot with my Canon camera, the SLR. The good thing about this is, of course, like, I had to time, and I had to ask her to jump a couple of times. It had just rained, and there's like nice reflection formed and all that. But this is in the parking lot of a school. So the school is built in the middle of nowhere. Like, you have a lot of fields. So that's why you don't see any buildings outside. You only see like farm fields. And this is concrete. And there's only a little bit of water. It's not a whole lot of water. It's just after rains, so there's only a little bit of water. But when you keep, in order to get this, you need to go really low. It is hard on the knees. The knees, because you have to hold that angle for some time. Younger people who are in their like early 20s, it's not a big deal. But I'm in my 40s, so it's not easy. So I have to sit there and hold that angle for quite some time. Now, it helps if you have a flip out screen. Now, the new cameras have a flip out screen where you can look at it from the top. So you don't have to actually go all the way holding this camera like this. And so that's helpful. So with the camera that I have a flip out screen from where I can look from above and hold my camera really low. I had 1740 lens here, so it's a wide angle lens. So yeah, I was able to take this shot. She likes this. She used to. I mean, she's a little bit older now. So she used to call these muddy puddles, and she used to go all splashing all over the puddles. With this picture, you see that most of the photographers are taking pictures of the car. But I mean, that's fine. But I wanted to take the picture of the ambience. So I wanted to show like how the photographers are going crazy about cars. I'm a little bit not a materialistic person, so I don't really know the difference between this car and that car. I know they're all expensive cars, but I just like the overall ambience. So I shot it the other way, and people were thinking, what is this guy doing, like shooting it the other way? But here. So yeah, you can try different perspectives than what most of the people are doing. This once again shot from really low angle. If you look at it from far away, this tree is not so special. It's forgettable. It's only like maybe 1.5 feet, or rather 1.5 feet tall. So it's not really special. But I saw these roots that were like going all over, and I once again went into this really low angle, and I shot it with of course a flip out screen. It's helpful, but at that time I did not have a flip out screen. I had to bend all the way. So if you shoot it from really low angle, you can shoot up all the way up to the top. So I think the lens that I used was 1740, and Canon 6D. This is shot from a low angle too. This is a place in Puerto Rico. They say that this church had some miracles that happened in the 15th century. So it's almost more than 500-year-old church. They open it only during certain times. So I went there early in the morning. It was not open. As I mentioned, like this was one of the shots that I took when I parked the car on the street there. And I went really low in order to shoot this. So I found an interesting story here that access to God's house is restricted. Anyway, so I mean that's just making story up. But at the end of the day, like they have to run the church, so they are open only for a certain time of the day. I found it interesting. A couple of I want to say quite some time after I started photography, that I found it that if you have the rules of photography change a little bit when you're shooting pictures that are vertical as compared to horizontal. So in vertical, you can get away with having something right in the middle of the in the picture. If I would do this in a horizontal picture, it will look very weird. If I have something right bang in the middle, it will look very naive. But here, I think it somewhat carries it off, along with the small child who's filling up her sand bucket in the right bottom corner. So I think the rules change a little bit when we are talking about vertical pictures. So yeah, this is an interesting composition that I wanted to communicate. Now, settings wise, I don't mess around with settings a lot, except when it is needed. For example, I mostly shoot with f9. I keep that's my default setting, and then I keep the time at around 100 or 125. I keep the ISO at auto, so that I don't miss any. It's not either underexposed or overexposed. But again, I shoot raw, so I have more flexibility there. But settings become most important when I'm shooting pictures like this, which have the water, and this is the pier over water. This was shot in Alaska. There's a pier, there's water, and there are all these mountains in the background. There's in Alaska there's only 3 big roads. It's very weird. Alaska is a state in the United States. The state itself is so big. It's bigger than India. The one state is bigger than whole of the country of India. But there are only 3 roads. So it's very, very less inhabited. So there's a lot of empty spaces in the state. Sorry, anybody had a point? Okay, so it's very less inhabited. It's a huge state, and they also call it the last frontier of the United States. So basically, it's a lot of the places are not spoiled by human inhabitation. There's a lot of nature there. So one of the things that happens is when you are driving from one city called Seward to the capital city of Alaska called Anchorage, there is this beautiful turn again bend that you get, where the road turns, it goes straight and then comes out and then goes back in. So it's like a U-turn. It's a huge U-turn. There you have, like, on the one side you have the road, and the other side you have this like beautiful water with the trees and all that. So we pulled over there. We set up the tripod, and then did this picture. The point of this picture is, like, I set it in I think maybe 15 or 20 seconds. I had to use filter, a graduated, or not graduated, an ND filter for this. I think I used 10x filter or something like that. So in order to get this perfectly smooth water. So that's one thing that you can play around with settings that you definitely need when you're working with long exposures. So settings are needed here as well. It's a fast picture. So this was shot just outside of Houston. I may have mentioned this in one of my previous presentations that so there is a lot of migration from people in the South. In the sense, like, people who are not documented, they don't come, migrants who don't come into the United States the legal way. They have reasons. They may have different reasons why they do that, economical or social pressure, things like that. But so some of these people work in some of the low wage jobs. So what happened was when I was actually once again I went out to shoot during sunrise time. I saw these two fishermen who were fishing in one of the piers like this, and I started talking to them, and they were one of the guys was like he was very easy to talk to. The other guy was not. He was a little bit hesitant. So I asked him if I could shoot his picture fishing, and he said, like, what are you going to do with the picture? And he was a little bit hesitant. I said, no, I'm an artist. I'm not going to send it. I'm not going to show it to any newspaper or anything. I'm just a hobby photographer. Do it for art. So this guy actually, though he was a little bit hesitant, he ended up posing for this. So of course, I mean, he didn't know English. This guy didn't know English, but he helped me create this picture. So I set up the timing at, I think, 250 or something like that. It's an old picture, so anyway. So I messed around with settings even whenever we need like fast pictures or very slow pictures. Of course, you will recognize this place. It's Town Hall, Bangalore. When we planned this shot, we were expecting to shoot from the other side. My father and I, we went to this place. We went into the town hall, and we were trying to somehow shoot from the top of the town hall to get to the terrace of the town hall and shoot the traffic from there. We tried to bluff our way. We tried to tell the guard that we are some important people, and we wanted to shoot. We wanted to go up there, and we wanted to shoot the traffic from there and all that. He didn't buy it. He said, no, you cannot go. It's you'll have to get permission from the government. So we couldn't do that. But it turned out to be in our favor that it's actually much more nicer picture from this side. So what we did was we crossed the road. We came to the other side. We stuck our tripod in the middle of the traffic. There's a small place where people are standing to cross the road. There's a traffic light. So we stuck our tripod there, set it up, and then we kept on shooting in slow shutter speed mode. You will see a lot of this light painting at the bottom, which is of course like bikes and cars and all that. But we are fortunate to get this upper light streak, and that's from a bus. So that is the interesting insight that I got, that if you have a bus, you have streaks, and in between you have the structure. But of course, one thing that I would like to remind us, like it's very smoky, and you'll smell a lot of petrol and diesel when you're standing there. But if you get a good picture, it's worth it, I think. Okay, decisive moment. So this is one of the things that Henri Cartier-Bresson talks about. He's the person who is often referred to when we are talking about street photography. The decisive moment is a moment when action happen. So you keep on waiting at a particular place when things happen, and this you have to be ready for the moment when it happens. So that is a decisive moment. Here, this was shot in Houston downtown. This was during COVID. I was in Houston downtown. I was waiting, shooting here and there, and I knew that this guy, he has been doing this for quite some time. Like he did that a couple of times, and I was waiting there, waiting for him to actually do it again. So this time I was prepared. I shot about 4 or 5 pictures. All of them did not come out so nice. The final one came out really nice. This was shot in Puerto Rico. I was waiting for somebody to come. I knew that there's a nice graffiti here, a painting here on the wall, and I was hoping that somebody would come. And a nice lady who was, I think, walking her dog in the morning. So she came. Again, this was shot early in the morning, so you just got to be show up and hope for a miracle to happen.
Can I interrupt here? Just previous picture. Yeah, actually, the exposure and balancing of exposure is so beautiful. But in the front, the lady looks like she's been littered with some flash or some reflector or something. How could you achieve that? Because even the highlights are perfectly exposed, as good as even the fill-in shadows are also very well exposed. How could you achieve this?
So when I'm in the morning situation, I think what is happening here is, frankly, I turned out to be lucky. One thing is, like, there is a little bit of a reflection because of the wet, because of the rains that they have had the previous night. But if not, then I think we can control that. If such a thing, if you are not fortunate enough to get it, you can try to do that using RAW, but using Lightroom. It's always difficult to get to a natural something that is created natural versus something that we can create in Lightroom. But if you don't get it naturally, then you can try to you can attempt to get it as close as possible. But here in this particular situation, it's my luck that it was lit up like that. But that's a very good, interesting point.
Yeah, thank you.
Most welcome. This particular shot, this was shot in the mall in indoors. This is again the picture of the girl is not my picture. That's actually very nice. Some very good photographer took a model out, and he was I think he made a good picture. I was waiting for something interesting to happen there. So in the malls, the rules change. I don't know if it's the same case in India, but I'm sure it is. Inside the malls, you are not in a public space. You are in a private space. Malls, in a sense, like shopping centers. So somebody can stop you from taking pictures of people inside a shopping center. So you have to be careful. So this was shot using a cell phone. So I was not like very prominent. I did not want to carry my camera and all that. So I was just holding my phone, and I was pretending as though I was taking my selfie. And I've been stopped before. I've been stopped in shopping centers when I had a camera and a lens, and I was shooting people, assuming that it's a public space. But people, the security came and told me, like, don't shoot people's pictures. You can go out into the parking lot. People don't feel comfortable if you're shooting, and I understand that. It's people come there for different reasons, and they don't want to be in a picture with a person with a big lens. So I was shooting with my cell phone, and I was hoping that something interesting, would show up. Like there are like other people who are just walking by, not looking anywhere. So this guy was looking at the picture, and it so happened that it turned out to be an interesting composition. This is also one of the pictures that happened in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has a love-hate relationship with Americans. They kind of are a part of America, but they feel that America controls them. So there's always some kind of protest against Puerto Ricans, in Puerto Rico against Americans. And politically they are Americans, but always there's always a protest going on. They think that they are being controlled by America or something like that. So there's always some kind of a protest, and that comes out in terms of gravities and things like that. So you just have to. I mean, I was waiting here for some interesting thing to happen. Somebody to walk or something like that. Otherwise, it will just look like a painting. So, okay. So this is a little bit tilted toward the left, but my point here is that I knew that there was a beautiful sunset happening. This is Santa Monica Beach in Los Angeles, California, just outside of Los Angeles. There was a beautiful sunset happening, and I shot some pictures, whatever that I got, and I was waiting for something else to happen. The kid showed up, and it turned out to be a nice, interesting addition to the sunset. The sunset is really beautiful in Santa Monica Beach. It's a pretty famous beach, and there was pier, and there's a lot of people who really come there and have a good time. The weather in Los Angeles is very close to Bangalore. It's nice and pleasant most of the year, but it turns out, especially during winter, it's in some places it's cold. In some places it's warm and pleasant. So it's very close to what Bangalore weather is in Los Angeles, California. As compared to where I live, Houston, it's hot most of the year, except in very cold winter, in January. Okay, so a little bit about post-processing. So as you can see here, the picture itself is like shot in the bang in the middle of the day. It's close to noon. It's hot. This place is Charleston, South Carolina. It's one of the southern states. It gets really hot, and this I think was in June or July, which is summer in the United States. It's also in India, but it's summer here in the northern hemisphere. So, but anyway, my point is that I had, in my original picture, I lost details of all these people. It was some places were lit up because of the sun, but some other places were like completely dark. So I had to bring that forward. So when I brought that forward, it started looking a little bit ugly, and that's why I did a little bit of a retro look to it. One of the people that I worked with here, a senior photographer, he said that photography is not about just making things look pretty. Actually, it's opposite. Real photography is make it gritty, make it dirty. So make it more grittier, make it more dirtier. So that is when people really respect you, and they look at it as a serious photograph. Otherwise, you're just making Instagram pictures. So I've gotten for many of my pretty pictures, I've gotten a lot of criticism from him for that. He's a senior photography professor at Rice University. Of course, I mean everybody has their opinion, so I try to do both. So here I try to bring the grittier side of things using my post-processing. I try to make it a little bit retro, and I try to make it more grittier. Otherwise, if you just look at it, the original one, it's a very bland and boring, it's a 12 o'clock, it's all the interesting things are all hidden in the shadow and things like that. So that's what I try to do with post-processing. Here also I've gone a little bit overboard with post-processing. This is something called as Art Car Parade that happens in Houston every year. This happens during the month of April, which is a hot month in Houston. It's just after spring. It's not the hottest, but it's a pretty hot month. So again, you can see that by the shadows, you can see that it's close to middle of the day. I want to say like 11:30-ish. Um, the interesting part was it's a kind of vehicle. It's a car. It actually, there's a wheel here, and they make it. It's an art car. So they may not use it for on a daily commute or getting groceries, but they do use it as a car for exhibitions and parades and stuff. So it actually moves. Um, I saw that this was kind of Mad Max kind of a situation. So I did a little bit of post processing and added some texture to the sky and all that. So I did some post processing here, and I also changed the color to only reflect like red and brown. I took out most of the other like greenish colors and all. They are more grayish in nature here. So I tried to do that post processing to give. Basically, I use post processing to tell a story rather than just show what actually I saw. Here, this is shot just outside of Houston. As I mentioned, we have access to a nice sea here. And before we hit the sea, there is this place called Texas City, where you have some place where they have created some nice places for fishing. So these are all fishermen who actually fish for, I want to say, to make money. So they don't just fish for a hobby. Like the first person that you saw, I'm sure he does it only for a hobby. He only had a fishing hook and a reel. But here, these guys are serious. They want to make money out of fishing. So they come with the nets, they come with the bags and all that. So they come early in the morning, so they have to walk all the way. And I saw that there's a nice sunrise happening. I gave it a little bit of a warm tint to it, so that it creates a surreal feeling. This also post-processed, as you can see. So this was in a place called Savannah, South Carolina. One of the things that this city is known for is the train system that was there for. It's a very old train system. At this point, I don't know if they're still using this, because I didn't see any trains being used here anymore. But they still keep this the rails, because it gives a nice feeling. Maybe they use it for only for a short like a touristy thing. There were no railway stations. There were no like people who are boarding trains or anything like that. I didn't see any of those happening. And it's very clean, though this appears very gritty here. It's washed and kept very clean. And all these are restaurants here. So these are all very old buildings. So they are deliberately kept old, because they want to create that feeling of an old city. So this is actually a very touristy city. I did post-processing to make the cobblestones more grittier and give it a little bit of a red and gray background, red and gray feel, rather than a complete natural setting. Okay, the question is to go with color or black and white sometimes. This picture was shot in Sugarland, which is the city that I live in. It's just 5 minutes away from my place. These deer are not natural. They are actually made of metal. They're fixed there forever. And I went on this overcast day. I shot this picture. I had an option to either keep it black and white or color. I kept it color because I like the different shades of green. I tried it with black and white. It still is a decent picture, but the green gives an extra punch to it. Again, this of course is it's a holy picture. This has to be color. This is in Houston. They celebrate Holi in different places. So this is a no-brainer. It's always good to have color. I've shared this picture with many of the photographers before in one of my previous presentations as well. This is a portrait of a person that I met when I went for early morning shoot, sunrise shoot. Though I could not get a good sunrise, I started talking to this person. He has a very interesting background. I think he's from Russia. He has some long history in the United States. Of course, he's been living here for quite some time. So I really liked the different textures in his skin, or the gritty beard and hair and all that. So this, I think, goes well with black and white, especially portraits like this, which are grittier. Now, this is a place in Miami where it's known for its graffiti. You see that there's a lot of graffiti here. So graffiti is a kind of art for people who don't already. I'm sure many of you know. But what happens is, like, the people who are artists, they come out and they come out and paint the walls as murals. Basically, they create art on walls. So this particular place is very much known for its graffiti art. There's a lot of people walking around and all that. So I think this goes well with color. So this it's a picture that was shot in San Leon, about 40 minutes away from the city that I live. Again, we have access to nice ocean or the sea, but this is not the sea. This is actually a bay, which connects to the sea, but we are not at the sea yet. So, but there's a lot of wind here. So you see that this tree is kind of, it's lost its leaves, but more importantly, if I would go to the other side, if I would stand near this bench, I would see that the tree is tilted like this. It's because of the wind, and I want, if I have to create this barren image of an old person in the tree, I think it goes well with black and white rather than color. This, of course, the famous Golden Gate Bridge. It's lit up nicely in the night. It's a little bit of a fight because to shoot this picture because it's very windy there. I set up my tripod. I shoot and I expose it for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then I see that the bridge itself is like blurred because it's because of the wind. The camera is shaking a little bit. Very, very subtle, but it's still shaking. So then I shoot it again. Like, it took me like a couple of times in order to get this sharpness right. Then what I did was, like, of course, I carry my travel tripod. I don't carry a huge, very heavy tripod. So I had to hang my bag on the tripod to make it more stable, to get the sharpness of the bridge. And there's, of course, like some boat that is going below. The small boats go below the bridge all the time. So they create a nice light streak there. So the thing is, what I try to do is, whenever I try to shoot pictures of people or portraits, I talk to people. So in here, I have shared this before, that this particular mural that was painted, it is kind of supportive of black people in the United States. There's a lot of resentment of like slavery, and after that there's still a lot of like racism, systemic racism, and things like that. So there's a lot of expression of art in support of black people, but there's like other side of things as well. Now you see that in the recent times you have seen a lot of movement against that, against the liberal or the Black Lives Matter kind of a scenario. Other people saying all lives matter. Like, there's this racist clash that is happening. or rather, like, people from the right who don't support black rights. So they are pushing back as well. So it's a juxtaposition that many of these people here, they don't like. I'm not saying many, but some people who congregate here, bikers and all that, they are not supportive of this kind of movements, and they look at me also suspiciously because I'm not white. So it's an interesting way that I have to blend with these guys. I've mentioned before in one of the presentations that I try to put a T-shirt that says Navy or some kind of a military thing, which many of these people support. So they are kind of more amenable to talk to me or pose for me. And this was not a pose picture, by the way, but they're more friendly towards me, and less they have less animosity towards me if I'm wearing something like something that supports the military. So I try to wear this kind of T-shirts, hats. In some of my portraits that I put on social media, I'm wearing a hat that says Navy. So yeah, so that's one of the ways that I try to get friendly with people. So this is again a picture that was shot in Houston downtown. This is called the graffiti wall. Unfortunately, this is going to be torn down in the near future, in the next couple of months, basically because they are expanding the freeway. So all this art is going to go away, unfortunately. This was shot in Hawaii. I've told this story before, but for those of you who don't know already, that Hawaii is kind of a welfare state. What I mean by that is, like, people who are homeless are fed nicely, and they are actually given shelters and all that. So some of these people, this guy is an Australian. He's been living in Hawaii for the last, I think, the last I talked to him was 17 years. He's been living since there 17 years, and he likes his lifestyle. He's a homeless guy, but he's a homeless guy because he likes that lifestyle. Not that he's poor. Actually, I mean, he can go out and but he just wants to, like, enjoy life. So the government takes care of people like that. Very interesting. Give me 1 second.
Teachers, you're muted.
Sorry. So I met this person in the airport. He looked like a handsome person. I just started talking to him and trying to understand, like, who is, and I wanted to shoot his portrait basically. But I also wanted to understand him, and he gave a little bit of his life story. And he said that he was actually flying from Washington D.C. to Austin, Texas, and he had made this ring that you see. It's I again forget this particular shape. It's a continuous ring. As you can see that it doesn't end anywhere. Like, it's the surface comes here and goes back and then comes back. So there's a particular name for this particular shape of the ring, and he had made that for his grandson who was being born at the time that we were having this conversation in the airport. So he was late. He wanted to get there early, and both of our flights were delayed because of weather. And we were sitting there in the airport, and he was saying that, I wanted to be there for my grandson's birth, and this is the ring that I made for him. He actually made it with his own hands. So that was interesting. I met this person in Louisiana. This is called steampunk. This concept is called steampunk. You may have seen this concept in the movie Wild Wild West. Basically, this is what people 100 years back envisioned the future to be. In the sense, a lot of these electronics and cell phones happened. Otherwise, they had envisioned that the whole world would run by steam and the kind of the future that you see in Wild Wild West, like like a lot of this steam and that kind of energy being used for running all these machines. So it's called a steampunk, and this he was like trying to sell some wristbands and like some of these paraphernalia. So I had started having a conversation with him and trying to understand what the steampunk movement is about. Uh, they are not a regular vendor. They don't come and sell every day. They only do that occasionally, whenever there is like a steampunk celebration or a movement or something like that. This is in India. We had driven out, my father and I, we had driven, whenever I'm in Bangalore, I try to go out with other photographers to shoot some pictures. I've done that with some people in the audience as well. So this was outside of Bangalore near airport, where they actually make this grass that's used for landscaping. I kind of found it very fascinating. They actually were making this grass. They were like watering it and all that, and they actually pull out some of this grass, and they actually mend some of these with their own hands. So of course, they are from somewhere rural Karnataka. They come all the way here so that they can make a livelihood. So it was a good conversation talking to them. This is a portrait of a lady who was there outside a temple. I could not talk to her. I mean, she was very, very silent. I just shot her portrait. This was shot in Hawaii. When I was driving by, I saw this men trying to move some of this boat. I was hoping that I could get a great picture. I think this is a decent picture. It's. I wish I could have done more with this, but my point is that like I had a good conversation with them about their lifestyle in Hawaii and all that, and then they let me take their picture of moving the boat onto the shore. Generally, what they do is like these are all, many of them are very rich people. They would have made their money in mainland United States or any other country, and then they just go there and live in Hawaii and have a good life, kind of retired life-ish. This is one of my one of the spiritual retreats that I went to. I talked to her, and you can see that there is a Vaishnava tilak on her forehead. So it's an ISKCON retreat that my wife and I used to go to every year. And I saw this girl is from actually Canada. So she's seriously following this philosophy, and she wanted to take initiation at some point. Now she's initiated, but at that point she was still aspiring. So I went up to her and asked her if I could shoot a portrait. I was a little bit skeptical because people may ask like why do you want and things like that. But anyway, I overcame that kind of hesitance. I still have hesitance, though I talk to people randomly sometimes, even when I don't want to shoot a person's portrait. I just make it a point to talk to people and ask them if I can shoot their portrait. I take it back. I'm not saying that even if I don't want to, even if I'm confident that I'm not going to get the permission, I still go and talk to people and ask them in case if I can shoot their portrait, because I want to get to a habit of being okay with a no. People keep on saying no many times. I am myself surprised as to how many times people say yes, but there are a lot of times when people are suspicious, they'll say no, which is fine. That kind of creates an attitude of being okay with rejection. So anyway, so I went to her and asked her, and I was surprised that she was very happy to pose for a portrait. This one person, I shot a picture in Houston area. He is a sailor. He runs a small tourist boat. Rather, he used to. The boat is not there anymore. It's been cancelled. Recently, I tried to go to the boat again. It was cancelled. The point I wanted to communicate with this picture was that if he would not smile, if he would be serious, then it would look very sad. And, there would be like all this kind of creases on his face and all that. And you've seen such pictures before, just, a couple of pictures before. Um, you have seen those kinds of pictures where it's more serious, it's more profound. Um, Here, I wanted to see his real jovial self. So he is a jovial person. So um, he was smiling and joking, and he was having a good time. So I wanted that person, that particular part of his personality to come across, and he gave it to me right off the bat. So I like that aspect. Though he is a little bit oldish, he has a lot of creases on his skin, but he's still having a great time in his life. So that is what I wanted to capture in this picture. I was shooting, as you may recognize these from these cobblestones. This was shot in Puerto Rico. I was trying to shoot a picture here, and this person was walking by. Of course, I shot his picture, and then he came to me and asked me, like, "Why are you shooting my picture?" I said, like, "Look, I mean, I'm an artist. I just like the surroundings. I like you in a suit with a guitar bag, that is." And he said, like, so I thought he's going to ask me to delete the picture, but he said, "Okay, can you take my portraits?" I said, "Okay, why not?" So I shot a couple of his portraits and I shared it with him, and he told me a little bit about his story, that he's in a band. He goes around the city giving concerts and stuff like that. So it was really nice chatting up with him to get his story. So candid pictures. Some candid pictures where I don't want to disturb the person who is actually performing or doing their things in their lives. So this is South Carolina. I was shooting some of the pictures, and suddenly this girl came out of nowhere and pulled her violin out and started, like, nice, lively music. So I really liked her expressions, her whole attitude. So I shot this picture to communicate that. This was a girl in Miami. There was this. I went there for early morning sunrise shoot. Sunrise was okay, not all that great. But I actually saw this nice girl was picking, I think, some seashells from the sand. So I shot this one there. This is the famous Los Angeles, the Hall of Fame. So anybody who goes to US from outside, this is one of the things on their agenda. A lot of selfies are taken here. You see all these stars. They represent real movie stars. And there's always a lot of activity happening in this part of Los Angeles. A lot of performers, a lot of painters, a lot of other activity. And you see that there's a sightseeing bus where you can get a hop-on, hop-off ticket. You can sit around, go around Los Angeles. It's actually pretty nice. I mean, though it's touristy, I've done the city sightseeing. It is a very nice tour. It takes you through some of the most expensive places, and there's these guides who explain what is going on. But anyway, so coming back to this here, this person is trying to mimic Michael Jackson, and I found it very fascinating. The whole ambience. There's a lot of energy here. Same place, a different artist is doing his own thing. He is trying to create this three-dimensional murals of some of these people who actually order them. And I think some of these kids are watching him make that. But basically, you can walk up to this guy and say that you want a three-dimensional, idol or something like that of yourself, and he can make that for you. So some of the post portraits. This was shot in Houston. I was there near the graffiti wall. This person was bicycling around, and I found him fascinating, but I found him intimidating as well. But anyway, he came up to me and asked me for money. I thought this is a good opportunity, so I said, "Okay, I'll give you money, but can you let me take your picture? He said, oh, sure. So I gave him like, I think $10, but I shot a couple of portraits of him. Yeah. So this is one of the people in Puerto Rico. What happened was I was sitting in a coffee shop and I saw this historian. The person who was interesting, he had like interesting face structure and all that. So I started talking to him and asked him like where he was and what is he doing and things like that. So he said he's a historian and he writes a lot of books on Puerto Rico and what happened in Puerto Rico even before Columbus arrived in America. So pre-Columbian era. So he writes all those kinds of stories about history about Puerto Rico. So I asked him if I can take a picture, and he said, "Yeah, definitely. No, that's something I can do." And I shot it with a regular portrait lens. I think it was 70-200. This was shot in South Carolina. Again, this is the same hot day that I was talking about. So basically, some of these people, they have been making these baskets out of grass. I forgot what they call it, wheat grass or something like that. I don't remember the exact name of the grass, but they are this really tall grass, and they make baskets out of this. But they're very expensive, these baskets. This, I think, is not a complete basket. It's a part of a basket. So they have like this decorative piece that they make, which is circular in nature. He was charging. I mean, I just want to see in case if I can buy it from him. He told me that it's $500. I'm like, okay, $500 for. Okay, I said, why don't you just let me take your, portrait, and he posed for me. But yeah, it's nice to talk to people in order to get their story. Now, generally for posed, in all of the places you have people, but here I have a car. The interesting twist on this is in Denver, and I was driving by this particular place in Denver, and I found it like really interesting, the fall colors, the car and all that. So I got out and took a picture of the car. Then I drove away. I went to Denver like 3 other times. So this particular car is deliberately placed here for a reason. Now, when I went around the car, I saw that there is like advertisements and stuff. So the car is there for advertisement. It is not there like, it's not a random car that somebody has parked that they use on a daily basis. So I found it interesting that, the car is also posing. It's not just there as a random action. Safe shooting. The reason why I put up this is like many times we actually go very close to the person. We go very close to the person, take the portraits and stuff like that. But sometimes I find it a little bit intimidating to go very close to the person, or I find it not worth going very close to the person. One of this is like this. This person was shot in in Louisiana. We were going in a bus, and I saw this person was sitting. He's a painter. He was very much deep in thought. And what I found the most interesting was he held the same position for about 10 minutes. We were there in that area. About 10 minutes, he was there in the same position. It seemed that there is some major depression or something like that was happening in his life that made him not budge an inch. It was almost like he was a statue. So fortunately, I did not go disturb him. I shot him with a long lens, 70-200, I think. And again, there was some interesting conversation happening in an outdoor cafe in Austin, Texas. I shot it from far away. I did not want to disturb the couple. This was shot in India, actually. So when we were trying to shoot some portraits of people in Bangalore, when I'd come to Bangalore in 2020, 2022, I think. We went to this place, and I was like trying to shoot portraits of people with my long lens. This person kind of found it very weird that I was shooting, with a long lens of people. He was actually observing me, and he was not very happy. He was a little bit unhappy with what I was doing. Um, but I didn't know. I was not getting into anybody's spaces. I was just like, turning and shooting. I don't want to intimidate people, or I don't want to like make people uncomfortable. But I think he was very observant and he was getting uncomfortable. But anyway, so he turned away, and then I just put my camera down. I let him relax, and nobody else cared anyway. So after he became a little bit relaxed, I started shooting a little bit again, and I shot with a long lens. I shot with a 100-400, so I could go like very close to him, close to his features. Of course, he did not know that I was shooting him at that time. And then I lowered my camera and I walked away. So there are laws against photography in public spaces in some countries. It's good to know the law. For example, in here, this is Houston downtown. Laws in the United States are pretty lax. You can shoot anybody in public space. It's all fair game. So it's important to know that law, because what happened was, when I was shooting this picture, it's a set of nice buildings in Houston downtown. The security guards came up to me and said, "You cannot shoot pictures of buildings here. It's against security law." I said, "No." I said, "Like I'm in a public space. I can shoot these pictures." He said, "No, you have to. You cannot do it. You just have to go away. Please go away." So I said, "Okay," because though I know the law, it's not worth the fight with the security people, and then I don't know how it's going to get escalated. So I just moved away. But then I had already taken this picture. Actually, no, I came back and I had not taken this particular angle. So I did a quick check. The security guard was not there. I wanted this particular angle. I took a quick shot and I moved away. So it's important to know the law, but also it's important to respect people in case if they're feeling uncomfortable or for some reason. It's always good to respect that as well. So ethics. So in terms of ethics, one of the things that photographers have discussed is like not to shoot beggars or people in very bad situations. I kind of tend to agree, but also tend to disagree in some situations. So ethics are primarily up to common sense. Like, if you feel you're comfortable in certain situations, I think it's not very unethical. In this situation, for that matter, he is a beggar in the sense, like, in a technical term, he's a beggar. He is asking for money at traffic lights, but he looks like a cool chap, right? He doesn't look like, it doesn't look like as though he's it's going to depict him in bad light. So I really liked his overall look and feel, and the way that he was coolly taking life. I don't know his real situation, but at least I found him like really cool, like just being a musician and collecting money for his skills in traffic lights. So I shot it. I shot the picture. But I mean, of course, there's going to be a difference of opinion. Some people are going to disagree with my approach. But I think ethics is something. If you're feeling uncomfortable, don't do it. If you're feeling comfortable enough, so I would say that go for it. So the last, I think it's one of the last parts. So we'll just go quickly. Travel-wise, this is one of the pictures that I shot of a person. She died about 6-7 years back. I shot it about 10 years back. I shot this picture. This lady has been protesting against many of these injustices by American government for almost some 30-40 years. Her main job is that she's a protester. So I don't know if she gets paid for it, but she's protesting a lot of things. Vietnam War, Iran-Iraq War, and a lot of these wars. No Iran war is a new thing now, but this was shot 10 years back when there was no Iran war. Anyway, so she lives in the small tent in front of the White House. This is the White House, and you see that she has all these boards right in front of the White House. Rather used to have, and when she died, it was some minor news. I think she died in 2017 or 2018. I think. This is one of the very interesting uh, architectural buildings in Denver. I stopped by. It was difficult for me to shoot this particular angle anywhere near the building, so I went to the other side of the building and I took a picture of this. This is Santa Monica Beach. When I went to the beach, I saw some interesting angles because of the reflection. As you can see, it had rained that day and even the previous day. So there was like water puddles all over the place. So I like this reflection of the wheel. This is San Diego, is one of the cities in California. It's a beautiful city. It has a small hill, like Bangalore has, like hills cropping out of it in random places. Los Angeles has some kind of a same scenario. So I went on top of the hill. I could see a lot of things. Like there's like traffic, there's freeway, there's like buildings, there's like clouds, different levels. It was amazing. So yeah, I did my research before I went, so I know what to expect. But again, I planned for different kinds of different sets of pictures. But when I went there, the weather was bad. It was all like cloudy, foggy. Nothing was seen. I waited for about 15-20 minutes, and then this part opened up, and above I can still see different levels of different layers of clouds. This picture was in Dubai, right in front of Burj Khalifa. What happens is they have every evening, because Dubai is such a touristy city, they want to welcome all tourists. They have this fountain show in front of Burj Khalifa every day. And what I did not know was that you could actually get a boat ride in this man-made pond or lake or whatever, and they'll take you right in between all these fountains. I did not know that. Otherwise, I would have been there instead of here. Anyway, so I found it very fascinating, and I used a long lens to shoot this boat with the fountains. This was shot in Miami in front of the graffiti wall. I like the juxtaposition of an older person who is more conservative. We would expect that he's more conservative in front of something that is like very cool and nice, modern. And one of the things that I found really fascinating was the airport. You cannot take any liquid bottles in the airport, right? Into the airplane. But they had not kept any waste baskets for people to capture all this, the plastic bottles. So people started leaving the bottles there, and you see that this is not a typical, photograph, but I found it fascinating to document this. That there's like a lot of plastic bottles. We always blame India that we do whatever that we want. We are not very serious with discipline and all that. Happens everywhere in the world. And new places in your city, like we can try to explore some new places inside the city. This is a very interesting building called the Chevron Tower. This is a skyway which connects all these downtown buildings. And I started shooting a picture here early one morning. And then once again, the security showed up and said that, you can't shoot pictures here. It's the downtown buildings and all that. But by that time, I had already shot this picture. So I said, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll go away. And I went away, but I already had this picture. I did not want to fight. Although I knew the law, I did not want to fight. So this is a very interesting take. This is not a traditional, travel picture or anything. But you see that there's a honk for traditional marriage. So one day I was driving by my city in Sugarland. I saw that honk for traditional marriage. I thought, what's the big deal? Traditional marriage, in the sense, is like, for me, arranged marriage. So what's the what Americans are now like, rooting for arranged marriage, but no, it's between a male and a female. So they are against lesbian and gay marriages. So I found that interesting that traditional marriage means different things in different parts of the world. And this is a shot of Houston. There's a beautiful building called the Memorial City Center. There's a hospital here and all that. And you see the road here is it's called the I-10 highway. It's a freeway in the sense like there are no traffic lights or anything. It's a complete freeway from one part of the country to the other part, from the eastern part of the country to the western part of the country. And here in Houston, it becomes the widest freeway in the world. It has got 26 lanes at some point. If you count all these, the feeder roads, everything, there's like 26 lanes, and it's considered as the widest road in the world. So I want to capture that along with the stormy skies and the Houston Memorial City building. And one bonus for those of you who were patient enough to stay with me till the end, I would like to just say that thank you for your patience. The bonus that I want to share with you that I shared with some of my friends before, if you go to this link that I'll share with Prema Madam, maybe she can share later. If you go to this link, you will get at least some 15 plus books, photography books, PDFs that I've been collecting over a period of time. So they have really good street photography, travel photography, and guides on posing and things like that. So they are all downloadable. You can download them and you can learn.
So Shreyas, sorry, Tejas, you could just share the link on the chat here.
Oh yeah, sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
So I've kept it simple. It's bit.ly street photography books. Though it says street photography books, I started with street photography books, but it's grown more than that. It's got travel, it's got modeling, posing, and things like that. So you can check that out. And that's pretty much it from my side. I would like to hand the control back over to our administrator, Madam Prema Kapte.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Nice pictures, and the story also behind each picture was really good. It was a nice presentation. Thank you so much. And as for questions now, I request people, you can come on, you can turn on your video, and you can also unmute and ask any question that you wish to. Please go ahead. Any questions? Because in the chat, I don't see any questions that have come up. Well, I think you were very, very, the talk was self-explanatory and it was a good thing. So I guess.
Madam, good evening.
Nothing much. Yeah, this Prashant. Yes, doctor, please go ahead. Dr. Prashant also does a lot of street photography, and he has led some street photography, walks here, especially the Chitra Sante walk. And this is something that he's really good at.
Thanks, Madam.
Yes, doctor, please go ahead.
Mr. Thejas, namaskara.
Namaskara.
Fantastic pictures. Actually, it is a collection of almost all genres of photography, I think. Wonderful presentation. I think your eye for black and white processed portrait images is fantastic. I hope you are also much interested in taking portrait pictures, right?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I think you are passionate about that. Really, because asking somebody to pose for a picture, if you know that person, it's very easy to click pictures. If you ask a stranger to pose for you, it is really difficult. They become
That's true.
so conscious and all.
Correct.
But your pictures are really fantastic. I think uh, if you work on that, you will be really good. I hope
Thank you.
you follow Steve McCurry and all. It is really an art
Yes.
of making portrait pictures.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to know. But other pictures are also fantastic. You move around the world. I think good pictures make.
Yeah.
All the best, Mr. Thejas. Take care.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I try to learn from people's stories. So when I talk to people, I ask them to tell their stories and things like that. That's one of the
Yeah,
things that help me,
okay.
that help them
Okay.
become more comfortable with me, I think.
Yeah, mostly you spend some time with them. That's what. But your
Yeah.
pictures making, no, it is not that every time the person is not looking at you. That is one good thing. I think
Mm.
that makes some amount of people to think about that person. It is not directly staring at you. It
Right.
makes it's a nice picture making, and that too processed black and white pictures and all. They are looking really good.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
thank you so much. Thank you so
Take
much.
it. Take care. All the best.
So Tejas, you can stop presenting now so that you'll be able to see all the others also when they come on screen. And there's a couple of questions. This Sujoy Joy who is asking, what is the key in preparation?
So the key to preparation, for me, different people have different approaches. One of the things that I do is for travel, of course. I mean, you would go into Google, try to see who are the local photographers, what they've done, what is the work that they've done, and all that. Secondly, like any kind of particular time, weather, duration. I mean, the time of the year. What's the best time to go and things like that, and buy hotel rooms near those places. For first of all, travel during those times, and then buy hotel rooms which are near those locations. In terms of preparation for taking street photographs, I think street photography it's just, there is not much of preparation. It's mostly like going with the flow and being aware of what is going on around you. There are situations when I've been in downtown which are not very comfortable because uh, in what happens in US and I'm sure in many other countries around the world, like the cities are generally not the best places to be during weekends and holidays. You will get good pictures, but you'll meet with interesting personalities that you're not going to be comfortable with. They're either doing, they'll be drunk, sometimes they're taking drugs and things like that. I've had that experience in Denver. When I was early in the morning, I go and the people are doing marijuana right in front of me. So and then they act crazy. So got to be a little bit careful there. But if you stay away from some of these, as soon as you sense something is bad, just it's not worth going anywhere near. Just stay away. But otherwise, overall, Google, and nowadays you also have Chat GPT, Grok, and other AI tools, which actually give you exact time and space to go based on your need. You can actually type questions as to, I want to shoot this picture, this kind of pictures. Where can I go? You will get 10 different points. That's very helpful in order to prepare. I don't know. Does it answer your question or?
No, there's Satish who says your black and white portraits are very beautiful. He's here if you would like to unmute and say a few words. You're welcome, Satish. And then Akhilesh Sati has given a link for street photography books. If you want to tell something about the link, yeah, please unmute it. Go ahead.
Ma'am, the link that Thejas sir has put, I think there is one word is missing. So I put the
Okay.
link.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, Tejas. Good morning to you. Good evening here. Yeah, wonderful presentation. I'm Venkat here. You can hear me well, right?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
Venkat. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I have one specific question. Uh, you had a beautiful picture both in daytime and in nighttime of the Swaminarayan temple, especially the lake for the waterfront. Okay. I mean, the thing is, you just also mentioned that sometimes it's difficult to take that shots because people don't agree. Like I faced a situation back in Los Angeles in way back in 95. 1995, where they never even allowed us to take a picture from the outside. So
Right.
temples in US are so strict. Luckily, when I went to Houston, the Houston, what is that big temple? What temple is that? They were building. They were half building it in 92, 93 time frame.
Okay.
Not the Swaminarayan was the other one. There is a very big temple there. There it was not, but this temple, I mean, from the outside too, they won't allow. So is that relaxed now, or I mean, it's just you are lucky to. I mean, anything on those thoughts of that?
So the picture that I took, the place that I stood is the last place from where you can take a photo. If you go beyond that, you're not supposed to take a picture.
Okay.
Now, the thing is with the American Indian crowd, if you are an Indian, you can actually talk to them and say like, look, I want to do this for the sake, for art. I can share the pictures with you and you can negotiate. I volunteer with the ISKCON Houston Temple. I'm an official photographer for the temple, so I can go very close. I can go over the altar and I can do a lot of. I can shoot a lot of pictures which the general people are not allowed to. So I kind of know how the management thinks. The reason why they don't allow anybody and everybody to take pictures is because it becomes a chaos. It disrupts the overall spiritual and peaceful atmosphere. Like, people start pulling out their cell phones in front of the deities and they try to take selfies, and all those disturbances happen. So that's the reason why they prevent photographers. They say no photography. But if you're a serious photographer, what I've found is if you go talk to the temple management and say that, like, look, I want to take it for the sake of art, and if you show, especially it helps if you have a SLR or even mirrorless. If you have a professional setup, if you say that I just want to take a picture, they generally allow.
Okay. All right, thanks. Only thing, one point I want to add there, I mean, outside the Venkateshwara temple in Los Angeles, way back, I mean, I'm telling you, nearly 3 decades ago. Yeah. They were talking about more of, I mean, they had put a board outside that photography not allowed, and I kind of got the feeling, I didn't consult with anybody, I kind of got the feeling it's also something to do with spiritual. So they do not want even anybody is more than, I mean, you covered rightly that they don't want to disturb their peace and all that. But I think they somehow feel that some evil eye will fall, or I mean, I don't know. So that's the kind of thing I got a feeling, but it's just my thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
All right.
I mean, each philosophy has their own way of thinking. So I know from my experience with ISKCON Temple and Swaminarayan Temple, and I also shoot. So we have actually a very huge statue of Hanuman. I think it's the third highest statue in the United States. It's Hanuman's statue in Houston. So I work with them as well. I've taken pictures for them as well. So you can actually many times you can talk to them, and if they have like an evil eye thing, of course they will not allow. But if they are a little bit more flexible, I'm sure they will allow. So
thank you.
You're most welcome.
So there's another question from Akshata Manjunath Tejas. So she says your black and white photos were really amazing.
Thank you
So
very
how
much.
did you manage to get such good lighting every time? Is it always natural light?
I'm more comfortable with natural light. Thank you very much for your kind words. First of all, I'm more comfortable with the natural light. It becomes a little bit tough if you are shooting with harsh light in the afternoon or somewhere which is not like before 10 o'clock, between 10 to between 9:30 to like almost till 5-6 o'clock. Portraits are a little bit tough, and I'm sure like many photographers already know this. If you're shooting at that time, it's better to take the person whom you are shooting, the portrait, to a place that is a little bit shaded, and then shoot their portraits. The main thing with portraits is you want to be able to capture all the details evenly of the face, which doesn't happen if you have sharp shadows, which will cover, like, you'll have like black under the eyebrows and things like that. So that is one trick. Otherwise, if the person doesn't feel uncomfortable, you can always have, I'm sure you know what, you get a light filtering, the stand that opens with a cloth in between, right? It's all like wound up. It will be like a small spherical thing. Then you open it up and it becomes like a cloth that can be held over a person's head. Even that's helpful. I've seen some workshops of YPS where very good pictures have come out of that. You have a white cloth that filters out the light. It creates like a
The reflectors,
the
round
reflectors.
reflectors.
Yes, round reflectors.
We're talking about a reflector, I guess.
Yeah. So that actually
Filling
creates
light.
an even
Yeah.
light. Yeah, that creates an even light. But you cannot carry that everywhere. I think the best way is to like take them to a shaded place. I've been fortunate enough that all the pictures that I've shot have been on overcast days. Except for that girl that I talked about with the Vaishnava Tilak. I shot her picture of course, it was a sunny day. I took her, she was standing in a corridor which was covered. So the portrait came out really nice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that.
I liked
And,
many of your images and the way you explained about each and every picture. It was fantastic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And particularly those black and white portraits are superb. And of course, I had seen 2-3 images in your previous sessions,
Yes.
but some of them are new. But of course, when you are showing pictures any number of times, it is real treat to the eyes of an artist, because we love to see time again and again, and all of them are really worthy pictures. And
Thank you.
I hope I have not wasted even a second in this evening's time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Very, very kind words and encouraging, of course.
yeah.
My pleasure.
So, Dr. Badrinath,
Hi,
you have
it
something
was
to say.
interesting. Thank you for arranging this talk. So
Yeah, thank you everyone for
I missed the
attending
last
and
part.
making this evening.
I'm working today, so I had to rush to look at
Oh, I
patients.
see.
But it was good.
Okay. But despite that, you did attend. Thank you so much for that. It's really encouraging when people take time to come and attend these programs. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I think we can end the program here. Thank you again, Tejas, and thank you also for your continuous, articles which you've been giving for Drishti. We really appreciate it. And hope to see you all in the next program that is going to be in the hall, which is Satish's presentation, A Touch of Red. You can see the touch of red even in his, DP there. So we'll get to know a lot more about how it can be picturized, using just one color as the center of attraction in a particular image. Thank you again and good night. And thank you, Tejas.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to say thank you very much for being very
Parvati
patient.
has raised a hand. You please unmute and go ahead. Yeah.
Good, sir.
If your dad is free,
I'll call you now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. He is.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll take your call right
All
after the
right.
meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I request everybody to, you can now, leave the meeting. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for your patient listening, and